The meeting is now reconvened to open session. The board would like to remind the public that this meeting is being audio and video recorded. It is also available via live stream for the public through links found on the front page of the RUSD website. We would also like to remind everyone to please enter and exit through the lobby. Filling in for Superintendent Stock this evening on the dais will be Jennifer Stolliber, our Deputy Superintendent, Business and Operations. Welcome, Jennifer. Tonight, we have Braden Haney from Rocklin High School as our student board rep. Braden, will you please introduce the color guard and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Rocklin Unified School District's Junior ROTC Color Guard and the Pledge of Allegiance. The commander at U.S. Flag Bearer for this evening's color guard is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Sophia Bulcarter. The state flag is carried by Cadet Captain Aiden Foster. The right guard is Cadet Master Sergeant Samuel Gizelis. The left guard is Cadet Major McKenna McVicar.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, thank you to our color guard and Braden for that introduction. Now moving to our special recognition and presentations portion of the evening, Chief Dosanjh, will you please introduce our family partners in education for tonight?
Good evening, President Sadoff, trustees, and Deputy Superintendent Stahlheber. The Families Partners in Education program allows the Rocklin Unified School District to recognize family engagement and involvement to help our students achieve excellence during the school year. Parker Whitney Elementary School Principal Carrie Awe is introducing the True Love family for tonight's Family Partners in Education program.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen of the school board, thank you so much for having us. Deputy Superintendent Stahlheber, thank you. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you to honor one of our most dedicated and impactful family partners, Tiffany Truelove. Describing Tiffany is no easy task because she truly is a unicorn of a human being. Her kindness and thoughtfulness shines in everything she does, creating a positive atmosphere wherever she goes. As PTC president for the past 2 years, Tiffany has been a driving force behind many of the initiatives that have brought our school community closer together. Her extraordinary ability to break down even the most complex tasks, make them achievable for everyone involved, is none other. She encourages a team environment always mindful of the unique strengths each person brings to the table, and she skillfully ensures that these talents are utilized to their fullest potential. Her passion for doing great things for our families and kids is evident in every project she undertakes. As the committee lead for our Harvest Festival, she brought her creativity and dedication to the forefront, transforming the event into a truly memorable experience for all. During her tenure as PTC president, she worked tirelessly to support our administration and staff, helping to turn innovative ideas into reality. But beyond her impressive accomplishment, what truly sets Tiffany apart is her patience, flexibility, and genuine care for others. She is not just a partner to our school, she's a pillar of support within our community. Her contributions have left a lasting impact on our school, and for that we are deeply grateful. Thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for our school. We're incredibly fortunate to have you as a Panther family.
Well, Principal Awe pretty much said it all, but on behalf of the board and the district, we want to present you with a certificate. Just recognizing you for everything that you do, and we have a little gift from Leatherby's as well. But I just was so excited when you came on to the PTC as I was leaving, and you have a way of just bringing people in, making people excited to help, which is no easy feat in PTCs at all, and just really working so hard to make the school experience and the school community just so much more, I think, for our families and our students and teachers, so thank you.
It's always great to see families recognized that are doing great work here in our district. Chief Dosanjh, will you please introduce our employee recognition for the evening?
President Sadoff, trustees, and Deputy Superintendent Stahlheber. Tonight for our employee recognition, Breen Elementary School Principal Jennifer Palmer will join us introducing Christine Gillis.
We brought a cheering section. All right, good evening, President Sadoff, Board of Trustees, Deputy Superintendent, and the members of the Cabinet. I'm here to honor Christine Gillis, a truly exceptional member of the Breen community. Okay, I'm not gonna look at you. She embodies dedication, compassion, and creativity in everything she does. As an aide in our RSP program, Christine goes above and beyond to support our students, offering personalized assistance, unwavering encouragement. Her ability to connect with students on a personal level fosters an environment where they feel safe, supported, and motivated to achieve their best. Christine's influence extends far beyond academics. She instills confidence, resilience, and a sense of belonging in every student she works with. Christine's commitment to our school is evident as her role as our textbook coordinator, where she has consistently demonstrated remarkable organizational skills. And this is the most important, tenacity, to ensure that every student has materials they need. She ensures that every classroom is equipped with the necessary resources, making the learning experience seamless for both teachers and students. But Christine's contributions don't stop there. She brings heart and soul into everything she does. One shining example is her tradition of handcrafting the 6th grade flags with each student's name for promotion ceremonies. These beautiful flags have become a cherished symbol of achievement and pride for our students as they prepare to embark on their next level of an education. In addition to her many contributions, Christine has a unique and thoughtful way of showing her appreciation for others. For any recognition or special occasion, Christine takes the time to create beautiful potted plants or flower arrangements for the staff. I was in charge tonight. These personalized gifts are more than just tokens of appreciation. They're a reflection of Christine's caring nature and her belief in the importance of celebrating each other's successes. She is always ready to lend a helping hand, whether it's to a student in need of extra support, a teacher looking for resources, or even hosting our holiday party each winter. We are incredibly fortunate to have her as a part of our team, and it's with deep gratitude and admiration that we recognize her tonight.
Mendocino Farms, oh my goodness, you deserve this. That was one of my favorite places. It was just amazing to hear all that you are doing. So amazing. Thank you so much. Sounds like you do a great job at your job, but also appreciate so much more that you are doing, going above and beyond for the students and the staff and the family. So thank you. I know, I love having a whole team of people here. That is so fun. So thank you on behalf of the board. We appreciate all that you do. And here's a certificate.
Beginning of that song, the bass.
Thank you again, Christine, and I love the cheering section. Thank you all for being here. With that, we'll move to item 5.3. We have a presentation of the Assistant Director, Facilities and Maintenance. Please welcome Dr. Tony Limoges to present tonight.
Thank you, President Sadoff. Good evening, members of the board. Deputy Stahlheber, God, I got it a flow. I'm gonna have to do over that. Miss Georgia, I have the distinct honor of presenting to the board our new Assistant Director of Facilities and Maintenance, Rain Kernitsky. Come on down. He was previously approved by the board during the summer, but this is your opportunity to meet Rain, who he served as the maintenance and grounds supervisor since 2019. He's obviously built strong relationships in his current role with the various site leaders. He previously served as facility manager for Sierra Academy, was a groundskeeper at San Mateo County Community College, and actually ran his own landscape and design business in the Bay Area for many years. Most importantly, what's not written on here, he's a music guy and was in Seattle in the 90s, so he knows the best songs from the Melvins, Screaming Trees, knows Pearl Jam was Mookie Blaylock before. Not written on the sheet, but still even cooler than all this other stuff in my book. But his experience and the relationships he built will make him an excellent assistant director. So welcome, Rain.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. So short but sincere. We got my reading glasses? We might be. Thanks, Tony. Perfect. So good evening, President Sadoff, trustees, Deputy Superintendent. It's fantastic to be here. I'd like to express that I'm both extremely excited and honored to have been selected to take this role in this position. I've been with the district for 6 years now and have built not just a strong knowledge of the facilities, but have also built really solid relationships with site employees and staff, and I'm very much looking forward to building upon that. I look forward to working hard to create safer, cleaner, more verdant spaces for site staff, students, and the greater communities. And I just want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity. It's truly an honor, and I'm very happy to be working with you guys. So thank you very much. Of course.
Rain, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the board. I apologize that you were unable to approve the comments before this evening, but I appreciated the comments about,
I do
now we
too.
know a little bit more about you. I like it. But I will say, I hope that this is just a testament to the great work that you have done the last 6 years in the district, not only just your care in building relationships, but also just the great work you have done here with our facilities. So thank you again, and excited to have you on the team in this new capacity.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Awesome. Right.
Scrapbook. Coming down. You're not going. What? So you're not getting candy? For if you guys are no.
Okay, I think our room has mostly cleared out, but this is where I always do the reminder after our special presentations that if you were here just for the special presentations, you are more than welcome to slip out at this point. We will continue on now to item 6. 6.1, our RTPA, our Rocklin Teachers Professional Association President's Report, has been emailed to us for the evening. So trustees, if you want to go ahead and check that later this evening, and then we'll move on to item 6.2. I'd like to welcome CSEA President Bettina Hart to present the CSEA President Report.
Good evening, President Sadoff, members of the board, and Deputy Superintendent Stahlhuber. I'm glad to be back after being gone for almost 4 months. I'm happy to be back here, being able to present to you all the wonderful things that CSEA has been doing. However, since I wasn't really around this past summer, I got to today talk with Craig and Rain and a bunch of my maintenance and operations, talk about the bunch of projects that they did over the summer that I wanted to share with you, which I'm very proud of, that our custodial maintenance operations are and grounds that done. Our custodial team is always working hard this summer, getting the schools ready for the students to come back, and from what I hear, it was a very smooth transition into school coming, not a lot of complaints. They did a wonderful job making sure everything was nice and clean and ready for the students. At Rocklin High School, our classroom T111 siting project, majority of the work was done in-house, and that by Alex Krasofsky and Will Feger. So they worked very hard doing that, getting all the portables ready for all the siding and the painting, all in-house, majority of the work. They also worked over at Victory High School, where they're replacing and painting all the portable buildings also. All the sidings there, especially there was a classroom that had major flooding. They did it all in-house to help make sure we didn't have to go outside contract and save us the district money and such. So it was wonderful. Our grounds crew of Mike Bianco and Ben Perez worked diligently, working over 15 main lines, fixing them throughout the district. And with support of the Rocklin High School grounds team of Jake Worthing and Mike McNamara, they were able to save the baseball and softball fields from drying out and fixing about 9 main lines on that area. So again, doing all in-house, working hard and making sure that the kids have places to play and being prepared for the seasons. Me being a softball person, I get it. So. Also at Antelope Creek, their marquee was installed, again, in-house. By our maintenance department, Dale Stahl handled the crane, while Chris Arias, Sean Perkins, and again, Will were there to support and stabilize the marquee. Mason Hall, who is our nighttime custodian supervisor, he did the electrical expertise and was able to get it completed and ready for when school started. So it was a wonderful project. The PTC purchased it, but we were able to do it all in-house, standing it up for them. Another project that we worked on was the energy management program. That's been a big in-house project for M&O. Ralph Ruiz and Joseph Bustamante has been very heavily involved. Ralph and Joseph completed the removal of old Novar thermostats systems and replaced them with updated Pelican sensors and thermostats over at Granite Oaks and Sierra, so which is a pretty heavy type of project. It's not just, taking off a thermostat. They are also doing the sensors up on the roofs of all the systems. So pretty intense, and those two worked very hard, and they continue to do so. As for us for the CSEA, we are continuing to grow. I just recently brought on a second VP. Her name is Nancy Hallwell. She is a special education aide over at Whitney High School. So not only now we have a president, I have a second vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. We are growing, and it's very nice to get a lot more people involved. Nancy has also joined our negotiation team. So we now pretty much have all of the classifications representative when we are meeting with HR, which is really nice. We're still looking for a first vice president and also a communications officer, but I think for the first time in many years, we're going to be having a full board, which is pretty exciting. Members have grown. We have a lot more people attending our meetings, and their voices are being heard, which is a very nice feeling. And working with HR has been wonderful. They've been very supportive with what we come to them, and it's been a really good experience. So I'm looking forward to this year. I've missed work very much. It's so nice to get back to the office and see everybody, but I'm looking forward to coming here every month and giving you guys updates. And thank you for having me here tonight. So have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Bettina, for your report. And so much work has gone into the start of school, not only an incredible summer, but I know driving around campuses that first day of school, we have some beautiful campuses. And so thank you for the incredible work of your team. I really appreciate your report tonight. Okay, we'll now move to item 7.1, our comments and report from our student board representative, Braden Haney. Will you please share your report for the evening?
Absolutely. Starting off with Breen Elementary. Kindergarten is enjoying and is learning the routines and procedures. They are making noodle names art, tracing their numbers 1 through 10, spelling their names on their papers, and learning sight words. Kindergarten families came to Breen for the first 8 days of school and joined their child's teacher in assessing the core phonics program. It was very successful and nice to spend time with family members, build relationships in a private setting after school. They have several third graders who are new to Breen this year, and it's been fun getting to know them. They have been learning about each other and building their cooperation skills. They are learning how to write in cursive and looking forward to new units of study in science and social skills. The beginning of the year is so exciting for them. So, next is Parker Whitney. Panther Fund Run fundraiser happening now, and their run will take place on, I think it's September 13th. The kids really enjoy this event each year. Their PTC has organized several dinner nights out to support their school. They are looking forward to their second annual Panther Social on 9/25 to welcome their families back to school and play trivia and enjoy some food together at Cool River Pizza. Next is Valley View. They're off and running smoothly. They started the year off with a TK kindergarten kickoff for parents and students to meet the day before school started. This was followed by school tours and then a meet the teacher hour. Many families enjoyed this and had fun. Since the first day, they have taught their PBIS framework to all with lessons in a kickoff assembly, enjoyed a PTC hosted ice cream social last Friday, and are looking forward to their first presented assembly, Drum Perks, with a focus on teamwork, best effort, and anti-bullying themes. Twin Oaks Elementary, the 2024-25 school year is off to a fantastic start. Teachers spent the initial weeks of school dedicated to building classroom communities with an emphasis on kindness, which helps set a positive tone for the new year. Students have been busy taking beginning of the year assessments, and they look forward to reviewing the data and providing enrichment or support as needed. The parent-teacher committee kicked things off by holding their first meeting to welcome new members and review the exciting year ahead. Twin Oaks has already hosted 2 successful Coffee with the Principal sessions. The first session featured the PTC highlighting parent involvement in Twin Oaks' upcoming events. Ms. Iverson shared how Parent Square is an important tool for connecting school and home. Their most recent coffee event focused on positive behavioral interventions and supports, PBIS, and strategies to improve student attendance. On Tuesday, September 3rd, classrooms will begin an attendance bingo game. The first fundraiser of the year was held at Crazy for Yogurt. It was a fun event where Timberwolves enjoyed a cool treat on a particularly hot day, fostering a sense of community among families. They appreciate Crazy for Yogurt supporting their school. A special highlight was the Rocklin High cheerleaders came to their school on Friday, August 30th, and their enthusiastic greeting brought excitement and joy to the students, making for a memorable start to the school day. At Sunset Ranch, started off the school year with a kindness kickoff, which aligns with their Purposeful People curriculum, and they're also looking forward to kicking off their PBIS program with a school-wide event where students can redeem their positivities. Their students are excited about their PTC Fund Run happening on September 20th, and the 4th through 6th graders are gearing up for the new season of cross country. They are in full swing at the ranch. At Quarry Trail had an outstanding start to the 3rd year at the home of the Broncos. Students are on their way to becoming bilingual and illiterate as the dual language classes have entered 2nd grade. The PTC continues to build school's culture and spirit with the back-to-school barbecue attended by hundreds of their students and families. At Springview Middle School, they had a great start to the 24-25 school year. Boys flag football and girls volleyball games start next week. Their Watch POG's community partnership begins on campus the week of September 9th. On 9/19, we have a motivational speaker coming to share his insight on building connections, social media awareness, and overcoming adversity. They are excited to host their 2nd annual Springview Family Picnic on 9/20. 9/27 is their first dance of the year. Go Eagles. Rocklin High School. Rocklin High hit the school off pretty perfectly with the PTC putting on an amazing carnival with a variety of games, treats, and soft beverages. They brought the energy to Rocklin to welcome their students back to school. Also, during the first week of Rocklin had their Welcome Back rally and their Welcome Back dance. Lots of students are feeling the joy and excitement of being a student at Rocklin High. We also had a club rush this past week in which every club on campus was able to display their club and allow others to join and sign up. Then we had an amazing first home game for football last Friday and ended up both a win. Rocklin is rolling and super excited to see the students grow in the next couple of months. Ending off with Whitney High School. Whitney High School has begun the year on a high note. The school kicked off with an exhilarating Wow Week, featuring a lively field day with food trucks and game stations spread across the campus, an electrifying opening rally, and a memorable welcome back dance. The positive energy throughout the schools is unmistakable. Every Friday, the campus is a sea of maroon, and the first lunchtime activity drew the largest crowd in recent memory. The student section at the first home game was equally impressive, with attendance higher than ever. Additionally, back to school night was a tremendous success with an outstanding parent turnout and a joyful atmosphere that filled the campus. Overall, Whitney High School is off to an exceptional start. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for the excellent report. I always love hearing the incredible things happening throughout our campuses, and also always really appreciate it coming from our student representative. I think we all pay attention a lot better when it's our student rep, so thank you. Okay, trustees, do you have any board comments you'd like to share for the evening?
Welcome, Braden. Happy to have you. Do you happen to remember how many clubs were represented during Club Rush Week?
Wait, say that again?
How many clubs were
Oh
represented?
my gosh, it was like 50 of them.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
like a
remember the
ton.
exact number,
I
but
don't remember the exact number. There's a lot.
yeah.
It was awesome,
I know
actually.
Mr. Thompson said it was a record, so that's
It was
pretty
a
awesome.
record, yeah.
And also, homecoming is coming close.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
it's
very close.
really early this year.
Like I think we have 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3-4 weeks left.
Yeah, it's going strong at my house with float
Oh,
construction
I know.
planning.
Yeah, tell me
so
about it.
I'm hours of phone calls and meetings, and I just provide the treats. So we're excited to have
That's
you.
all the kids need. Yeah, thank you so much.
I just wanted to share a couple things with my colleagues and with our community. Trustee Sadoff and I had an audit meeting this week. We have a new audit company that we're using, and so we met with them to prepare for our final meeting, which will be in December. That was good. Also, we had went to back to school night at a couple different campuses. It was awesome to be at Rocklin High School. This was so awesome. So during the leadership class, he asked, there were over 100 parents in there. He said, the first thing he said was, how many of you have kids who have complained about not having their cell phone in their hand during class? And not one parent raised their hand. And I've mentioned it before a couple times. I'm so proud of our work in our secondary schools. We are ahead of the game. You know, you can see in the news, the rest of the nation is really talking a lot about where our cell phones are during the learning time, and we're ahead of it, and I'm so proud of that. So it was awesome to hear, you know, kids aren't complaining, and they're actually really enjoying the interaction that they have with other students and also additional learning time. I'm sure they would say that, but that was really great to see so many families out there. I know we're also on the agenda going to talk about have an advanced placement update, but I wanted, before we get started on that, to give a shout out to Mark Hardy at Rocklin High School, who I think he's been a teacher for almost 30 years. This year he had 100% of his AP students pass the AP test, the econ test. 100% of 147 students, and I'm sure Mr. Flowers will give us, that is very rare and pretty amazing. So huge shout out to him. He's an excellent teacher, and we're so grateful to have him. Also, just appreciate all of the work that, she stepped out. All of the work, our campuses look great, and just wonderful to be back on campus and feel the energy and the excitement that's there from students and staff and administration, and we're off to a great start.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say, but I do want to say welcome, Braden. It's great to have you up here with us. And then I also wanted to say welcome to Rain, but it looks like maybe he already stepped out. And Bettina always does such a great job. But also our maintenance and operations and custodial staff for getting our campuses ready and making sure that everything is in tip-top shape and ready for the kids to show up. Really did a great job. Our campuses look beautiful, and we have things in working order, which is amazing. And also just welcome back to the teachers and to the kids. And I loved hearing Braden's report and all the amazing things that are already happening on our campuses, and it's only September 4th. Lots of great plans, and good luck with homecoming.
I don't have that much either. Most of the time's been spent getting kids ready for school, getting back to school myself. But I also, in addition to just everything that Bettina mentioned with getting the campuses ready, but just wanted to thank all of the teachers who clearly put so much thought and time and effort into preparing for parents and students to come back, for Meet the Teacher, for back to school night and just seeing, all of the outlines that they had to prepare, all of the materials to make all of the students feel really welcome back. Our USD parents really appreciate all of you. And I know for myself, going into middle school and following my child's schedule, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's very fast-paced, but they did a lot to put our minds at ease as preteen parents. So I appreciated that. And then otherwise, I just had a little PSA announcement that the Rocklin Library is now open 7 days a week. So on Sundays, it's open from 1 to 5. So that may provide an additional resource for some of our students.
So again, I guess similar to as everyone said, thank you to the teachers, the staff, all the folks in maintenance and operations. The sites are amazing. Nothing but smiles and engagement from the parents after back to school nights. Heard, oh my gosh, they didn't know we were doing this, didn't know that, and all the activities that are going on. Amazing. My own little silly story, and this was today. Work from home some of the days, but walk my dog up to the park. And it is amazing to hear at about 9:30, right around Sunset Ranch, all these kids yelling, screaming, laughing out on the playground or out on the grass. It is just it's a neat thing to hear when you're just outside and that's what you hear. So thank you for all of that.
Great, yes. A lot has happened since our last meeting, August 7th. It's no easy task to reopen our schools and our campuses, but yet we have an incredible cabinet and team and teachers and staff that really made it just a seamless week. I just heard incredible praises from parents, and so I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody who pitched in, and it's exciting to see our campuses alive and kids learning and excited to learn. I also wanted to mention this is a great time for school site councils. A lot of times parents will reach out and say, hey, how can I be involved? Is there a forum for me? I know the board meetings are riveting and often a great place for you to come on an evening. But school site councils, parents, if you haven't heard about them, some have already started their elections. Some are still working on those. This is a great way to get involved. And whether you run for school site council or you just make sure you speak regularly with your representative on the school site council, it's a great way for you to talk about issues specific to your campus. And then I also just wanted to mention our auditors meeting that I was able to have with Trustee Price. I really appreciated the opportunity this firm took to really say, hey, we really want to make sure if there are any concerns, any areas that you want to discuss, we want to make sure you understand the process. We really want this to be fruitful, not just a report in December, but it really to be something that's beneficial for the board and beneficial for the community. And so I just really appreciated that. And I know that is lots of work ahead of time and then also lots of work between now and December. So appreciate the work, and I was thankful to be able to sit on that call, and I look forward to the full report. I think last time it was 100-some pages. I look forward to it come December, but that's a really important tool, not only for us as a board and for our district, but also for our parents as well. With that, Deputy Stollerbert, do you have any comments to share for the evening?
I have a little update. So I wanted to report that the first day of school was a great success. District leadership visited school sites where we had the opportunity to personally welcome back students and families. It was truly inspiring to see the enthusiasm and the excitement from both students and staff as they returned to our sparkling classrooms. Additionally, our district team was present at the back-to-school nights across our school. We were thrilled to see a high turnout with many families attending to engage with teachers, learn more about the exciting plans for the upcoming school year. And the strong participation from our community highlights the commitment of our families to supporting their children's education and staying connected with our schools. We're very grateful for the collaboration, the efforts of our staff, parents, community members, and making the start of the school year a positive experience for all. And we're really looking forward to building on this momentum as we move forward. That's it.
Thank you for the great report. Okay, with that, we'll now move to item 8.1, our consent calendar. Just a reminder, all matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted by one motion followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a Board of Trustee requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. Any items removed will be voted upon following the motion to approve the remaining consent calendar. Do any trustees wish to remove an item from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve consent agenda items?
So moved.
First by Trustee Price, is there a second? Was that Hupp? Second by Trustee Hupp. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Braden Haney,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Rochelle Price,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we're moving right along. We'll now move to item 9.1. This is our information item for the evening. I'd like to welcome Marty Flowers, our Associate Superintendent of Secondary Education, to present us information on our college and career readiness and our advanced placement update.
Very good. My pleasure to be before you this evening. Kind of excited because this is really an opportunity to celebrate. So President Sadoff, trustees, Deputy Superintendent Stahlhuber, again, this is a celebration for us because we're going to update just the success of our students. And I want to give a shout out to all of our AP teachers, as Trustee Price mentioned, but really I want to give a shout out to every teacher in the district. You know, at the end, the culminating event is graduation, and that's great, and high schools get to celebrate that, but so many of our students go through their entire educational career. So it really starts with the foundation at elementary, and then we survive those middle school years, and then our high school teachers take off from that. But just a shout out to every teacher and every student because, again, it gives me an opportunity to present their success story. So with that, our college and career readiness report, typically when I do this, it's usually in the spring and our California dashboard is out. So I get a lot of that information from that. However, the dashboard's not going to be available until December. So I want to give a huge shout out, and I know they're watching, but Leilani Haynes, our Student Information System Specialist, and Diana Romeri do a great job, and they were very helpful in helping me obtain all this information. Leilani did get all of our data certified, so now the state will take all of our CalPADS information, and they will create the California dashboard from that. But just a great shout out to their help. So in regards to what it takes for students to be, this overview, again, the link there is a great link to go to, but this is from last year, so I'm not going to focus on that, but you have access to this presentation. And again, once that information is updated in December, I'm sure Dr. McDonald, myself, Hannah Anderson will provide either a BC or come back and do another report. But for tonight, I'm going to focus on our A through G. You could see in bold there our advanced placement courses and pass rate, as Trustee Price mentioned. I want to talk about that, talk about our CTE completers, our CTE education update, our dual enrollment, our incentive grant, and then our relationship with Sierra College. We're very fortunate to have a couple colleges in here town, but we work closely with Sierra College. And then, of course, the goal is moving forward. So just a quick reminder of what it means for a student to be classified as prepared. They have to meet one of these, either passing with a 3 or higher, both language arts and math on our Smarter Balance test, passing those AP tests. We don't offer International Baccalaureate, but our college credit course, that's known as our dual enrollment, our state seal of biliteracy, and then obviously our A through G requirements to meet those minimum requirements to get into UC and CSU. So tonight we're going to start off with our A through G. You can see I have a trend here right around 70%, and this is all of our graduating students, but specifically at Rocklin High, you can see almost 76%, and then at Whitney High, a little above 74%. So that's just outstanding. This really means that 75% of our kids can go off and be accepted into that UC-CSU system, which is a great accomplishment for both those high schools. In regards to that advanced placement, and I want to spend some time here because you can see in 2023-24, nearly 2,000 AP tests were taken at a success rate of 80%. Now, I try to pull some national comparisons, and they don't really do that, and even though it's a national test, for whatever reason, it was a challenge to find that information. Overall, they do break down, and I can provide that at a later time. As far as individual tests, I'd be happy to give that information. But overall, 80% of our students score a 3 or higher, which qualifies them to go and get some of that college credit. Now, I hesitate here because I've had a number of students come back and this university didn't accept this AP test, and that's nothing we can control. That's the university. I will say that I was very proud of my son. He was able to get into Cal Poly. They accepted all of his AP credit, and he graduated in 3 years, saving me thousands of dollars. So a great thing for that. But once again, if you just stop and think about that, and if you know anything about the AP exam, it's a rigorous test. It takes time, a lot of pressure there. 24% of our kids score 5. That's a perfect score on that test, so that's amazing. 32% pass with a 4, and then 24% pass. Now, of the 20% that don't pass, realize that a number of our kids, especially those juniors and seniors, take multiple tests. And these tests are scheduled by the College Board. Everyone takes them on the same day. So some of these kids are taking back-to-back tests, very rigorous tests. They may take as many as 3 hours, and they can go multiple days in a row taking these tests. So I'm sure they gave it their best effort, but 20%, but I really want to focus on that 80%. And again, shout out to our kids for preparing themselves and our teachers preparing them. And yes, Mr. Hardy, by the way, is an amazing teacher. So with that, what courses do we offer? We have a total of 36 AP courses we offer. Just over, almost 2,500 students are enrolled in those courses. Please understand that every kid that is enrolled in an AP course may or may choose to not take that test. So some of our numbers are different, but again, also any student at either high school, if their school doesn't offer it, they have the ability to go over and take it. And a prime example of this is another shout out to Jeff Clarion. He's done a number of the physics classes and a number of those Whitney High students. And I'm proud of the collaboration between our two high schools. They'll schedule those either first block or last block so kids have an opportunity to travel and get over there. And again, they have access to those classes. But so 21 at Rocklin and then 15 there at Whitney High School. As far as Rocklin specifically, just a 5-year trend here. You can see every year numbers have increased for the most part. From 23, we had 464 to last year, we had 528. The number of exams, 1,149. A number of students passing with that 3 or higher, and a passing rate of 82.58. That's just amazing. If you look over at Whitney High School, so they don't have quite as many kids taking, our AP students taking those AP tests, but they actually have a higher percentage pass rate of a 3 or higher. And again, realize that at Whitney High School, they have a larger CTE program, and a number of kids go into that as well. But just a great accomplishment by both high schools and by our students taking those classes. Speaking of those CTE classes and completers, once again, to be considered a completer, it's a 3-year process that you have to complete. You can see there I have a note that students can obtain completion status in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. And you might ask yourself, well, how could they do that if we don't? But because of our articulation with our middle schools, that class can be considered an introductory, and then they take a concentrator as a freshman, and then they can take that completer course as a sophomore, and then many of them can dive into something else. And something I am proud of both schools, we do not force kids to complete a pathway. If you take it for a year or two and you just say, hey, this is not my thing, I want to try something else. We want well-rounded students to graduate from our schools. So I've been asked that a couple times, and no, we're not going to force a kid into a class to get completion status. We want them to have the options to explore whatever they're interested in. But still, with that being said, and to compare what I mentioned as far as those AP classes, you can see Rocklin High, just under 200 students completed, whereas over 250 at Whitney High School were considered completers. Those pathways I talked about, you can see we have 3 at Granite Oaks. We had the same 3 at Springview not too many years back, but because of retirement and movement, we haven't been able to continue to offer those courses. We have other classes being offered now at Springview. We took advantage of our Prop 28 funding. We have art being offered there. At this time, it just doesn't articulate up to the high school to a CTE pathway. But again, the kids get... Their interest gets piqued in middle school, and then they take off in high school. What classes do they have at Whitney High School? You can see here we have 7 industry sectors we offer. That equates to 9 pathways. And again, high success rate there. Obviously, with our graphic communications, our broadcasting, Mr. Barnholt does a great job. BITA class is very popular. Culinary, business, on down the line, and they do a great job there. At Rocklin High School, you see we offer 6 of those industry sectors, but same 9 pathways. A new one that we added in there was dance performance. Miss Blankenship went back to get her CTE credential, so we'll be using some of that funding to spruce up her dance room. I was able to go through with Principal Stewart on back to school night, and she was quick to remind me that she has that credential now. So, but again, both schools just did an amazing job. As far as our CTE enrollment, you can see in 23-24, 3,453 high school students in 65 courses that were offered, and just over 980 in the 4 pathways at the middle school. This I mentioned before about the sequence, introductory, concentrator, capstone. You can see capstone is 46% of those classes offered, because that equals those level 3 and level 4 classes. So it's really twice that can be considered a capstone. And again, a student doesn't have to complete all 4 to complete that pathway. They can finish with 3. If they choose on to go to that 4th, that just helps them, and that shows that they're really interested in that pathway. We couldn't do it without the support of our state. We've been very fortunate, and another shout out I want to give right now is to Jody Konseski. We are currently working on the application for this year, but we've been very successful. You can see here the first 3 years, 2015 through 2018, we were part of a Placer County cohort. We worked together, and we applied for this grant. Starting in 2018, they allowed LEAs to go out on their own, and that's what we did. And you can see each year we've increased, and you can see in 21-22 up to $635,000. Realize that we have 23 teachers that take advantage of this money. We have some indirect costs and some other costs, but it really goes into those teachers, into those classrooms to help maintain those classrooms with the modern equipment that students need in order to be successful outside of school. Again, we are completing that application as we speak. Our hope is that we will, again, get to close to that $600,000. Our dual enrollment with Sierra College. Once again, we have an incentive for our teachers because in core classes, they have to have that single subject master's to be considered to teach at Sierra College. And shout out to Dr. Limoges that worked out this MOU. And once again, we want to try to get as many. And as we have more and more retirees, and we're hiring some of these younger teachers coming in, our goal is that they'll express some interest in taking advantage of this incentive so we can increase the number of dual enrollment classes we offer. But here last year at Rocklin High School, we had 177. What courses? You can see here Miss Jones does a great job in history, Robin Parada with their elementary education, Paul Warner, again, shout out to him. Paul does a great job. I believe Paul's going to come back later this school year with his RIOT, and I'm looking at Mr. Johnson right now. I can't remember what the acronym RIOT stands for, but they've saved us thousands and thousands of dollars by repairing our Chromebooks. And these kids, when you go in that class, they are truly amazing, and I've talked to Paul a number of times. Some of these kids are getting offered jobs right out of high school. Even before they graduate, they're getting jobs making very good money. So shout out to him. And then Wendy Crawford, one of the core subjects there, dual enrollment in Spanish. Whitney High School, again, a lot of the CTE classes also serve as that dual enrollment. You can see their number was over 400 last year. Shout out to all of them. Of course, Mr. Barnholt, very popular. Laura Brunn does an amazing job with crime scene investigations. I hear from kids, they just love that class. And then Katie Allstall, once again, that elementary education. And I love the fact that we're getting our juniors and seniors into our elementary schools to give them that opportunity. Is this a pathway that you would like to follow? And do you want to become a teacher? And even this year when we did our new teacher orientation, I think we had 2 graduates from RUSD that came back to serve as our teachers. So just another shout out to the rest of them. Ms. Verundi, Dorchak, Whitney Lum does a great job. And in her class, if you've ever been on the Whitney High campus, you see some of those students' works. They do a great job in supporting their athletic department out there. As far as just some access information, you can see the Rocklin High School and Whitney High School enrollment from our data provided by Leilani Haynes. And then the information down below, our students and how they compare to our overall demographics. And this is provided to us by Sierra College, but the total number of students, again, at Rocklin and Whitney, and then the breakdown of those students that are participating in those classes. You see a lot of similarities. some higher, some lower, but all in all students have access to this information. Last couple slides, because I know Dr. Limoges is tapping his feet over there. The Promise program that we have, realize that this doesn't support all students that go to Sierra College. These are just students that participate in the Promise program. Again, we have a great working relationship. Allstott comes out. That's the liaison counselor from Sierra College. He meets and works with our counselors and our college and career technicians to get kids. Really, we're going for those underrepresented students that maybe not think that they could go to college or can't be successful in college. They work with them, they talk to them about the benefits of that, and they get them to sign up and go. And once again, these are the numbers of RUSD graduates who attend. But again, it's a little misleading. Specifically, you can see there at RAAC and Victory, I know for a fact we had students go to Sierra College and other universities. If you recall at graduation, there was a number of scholarships passed out. They're just students that were not participating in the Promise program. So again, those numbers are a little misleading there. And then finally, to take the words from Trustee Counter, we want 100% of our students to be successful in college or career. That's always our goal. But we will continue to review this data to meet the needs of our students. We would love to have more be A through G compliant. We would love to have all students be college and career ready by being a CTE completer and participating in those amazing AP classes and dual enrollment classes. We will continue to review our pathway options, especially as we get new people moving in and their interest and their education of what we could do, because we want to make sure we're making all students available to meet their interest. We will continue to increase dual enrollment. We will talk more about trying to get more people involved in that Promise program, because it truly is a promise that they participate and they go to Sierra College for 2 years. They get automatic admission into some UCs, not all UCs, but it's a benefit for them to participate in that. We will continue to work to identify any possible barriers. Again, we want all students to have access to this. We will continue to promote our CTE dual programs. Chief of Communications Dosanjh did a great job with the videos. If you haven't had an opportunity to go on our district webpage and our site webpage, the CTE videos are amazing. And then once again, just a shout out to our college and career technicians for all the work they've done. If you've had a student, as Ms. Sutherland talked about, Springview, in a couple more years, make sure you take advantage of their knowledge. They both do a great job. And then just a shout out to our counselors for really working with our students to make sure they understand the significance of being considered a completer or an A through G, and really getting them prepared to go on and not only move on to college, but move on to be positive, productive members of our community. And that concludes my presentation.
So, thank you. Thank you for this. Great news, great progress that we're getting with the kids that are dual enrollment and those. This doesn't get into the specific grad requirements. We're still working through that piece, right? This is one portion of it, but not all of it.
That is true. Nothing has changed with our graduation requirements. We still have some work to do there to potentially update those and adjust those. But yes, this has nothing to do with that.
Good. Great performance.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to ask, you know, most of the high schools, both high schools seem pretty comparable throughout most of the areas, other than I thought the biggest difference that I noticed was Rocklin High School's dual enrollment is 177, and which has really stayed pretty stable for the last 4 years, you know, maybe gone down a few students, versus the big jump at Whitney. What do you guys account that for?
A lot of at Whitney is because of CTE, that qualifies for them to teach the dual enrollment class. For example, Brett Hunter. So those kids have access to that. Where if you look at the courses offered at Rocklin, some of those are core subjects. So a CTE credential does not allow them. They actually have to go back and get that single subject master's to meet the minimum qualifications to teach at a community college. You know, that's quite a few years of additional education, and quite honestly, many of them, if they know they want to be a high school teacher, will not take that next step once they get into teaching. But that's why we created that incentive. We will help pay for a portion of that cost. I believe it's up to $5,000. Once they get it, we'll reimburse them. But then part of the MOU is that they will go ahead and teach And if for whatever reason they were to leave the district, we would work out a buyback type thing.
Okay. Is it also hard, I'm just wondering, if you look at slide 17, is it also challenging for students that most of those at Rocklin are offered only in the spring? Is that challenging for schedules?
Again, because a college course is only a semester course, we have a year-long course, so they have to incorporate this. For example, Ms. Jones worked closely with the professors over at Sierra College to implement that curriculum that they've agreed upon that will be taught in that time.
Right.
The other challenge with that is realize Sierra College doesn't start until we've already been in school for 3-4 weeks. So that's another reason, unless they've worked that out prior, why many of those classes are offered in the spring.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And just really appreciate all of your work on this, especially the grants. Good job. You know how I feel about grants.
It's a team effort, and,
Yep.
and $5 million sounds good to me. So.
Yeah, you and me both. Good job.
I really appreciate the work on this. I know we've been talking for a couple years about making sure our students have as many opportunities available to them, that they're competitive when they leave Rocklin Unified, and I really appreciate their great work, because sometimes it's also a lack of the community knowing options that are available to them, and the great work that the district is doing. Again, I know we've talked for the last several years about how do we make sure our students are competitive, college and career ready, right? And so I'm really appreciative of that. I know we've gotten to chat a little bit in the past over CTE pathways, but I just, a little clarification. I wanted to go to slide 14. I think the beauty of pathways is that in many cases, these are multiple years where students can really actually dive deep, concentrate, right? You have these capstone where they've spent extensive amount of time, and that really does prepare them well outside of high school. Can you speak a little bit to these introductory, though? Are there prerequisites for these? Are these really like a junior or senior can just enter into those?
Yes, as a junior and senior, realize that if you take those classes, you're not necessarily going to complete that pathway, but that's why we work closely with our middle schools. We want to make sure our counselors inform them. We do some interest surveys. If you want to go into this field, this is a class you may look at. We also have our showcase night, and that's really an opportunity for our high schools to bring in those 8th graders to say, if this is your interest, get signed up for this class. And in all honesty, it's a challenge because some of these classes are so popular, freshmen have a hard time getting into them, but they still have that 3 years as sophomore, junior, senior to complete that pathway. And that's just one of those challenges. I mean, many of you probably know some of those more popular ones, and just a shout out to all those teachers for having a great program. The challenge is they have 6 periods to teach. So if you teach 2 or 3 of those introductory classes, then you have a couple of those concentrator classes, and then 1 capstone. And so trying to meet the needs of all those in a 6-period day, frequently when those most popular ones, depending on staffing ratios, as our deputy superintendent's well aware of, will pay for some overages. So teachers, instead of teaching 6 out of 8, they'll teach 7 out of 8 just to meet the needs of the students and their wants. So.
Okay, so I love that we're really looking at, okay, how do we capture these students in middle school, right? So that way they know these options are available to them. I know you mentioned, Springview has less at the moment, but that we are actively working, it sounds like, to really, I appreciate the art, but really looking at implementing, hopefully in the very near future, 1 to 3 years.
One of the challenges there, and quite honestly, is declining enrollment. Enrollment's down a little bit, not a tremendous amount, but working hard with our senior director, Craig Rouse, with our deputy superintendent on those projections, because we want to be able to offer more of those opportunities, but we got to take care of the core subjects first.
Yeah.
And again, that's that challenge when you have people retired. For example, we had computer science there. That teacher chose to take an opening at Rocklin High School and bumped up, and we weren't able to fill that because of declining enrollment. So we didn't hire behind that teacher when she left.
Got you. I see. I also wonder if we find a pathway of some sorts that might, bring some life and attention there to Springview, that maybe we could, reverse some of that decline in enrollment in that way. Just a thought to throw out there.
Sure.
But
I give a shout out to Principal Lauer. If you go on that campus, they've used some of their PBIS funds. They have new banners all over the place. They have new carpets. They've done a great job to really pick up the spirits, and they've had a great kickoff to this school year. We would love for more students to move in, but as you guys know, you guys deal with this issue. A lot of our growth is out there by Whitney High School, and where Granite Oaks is growing, Springview's not so much, so we're gonna have to figure out some ways to balance that. But again, as far as what's taking place on the Springview campus, I'm extremely proud of all the work they've done, and shout out to Ms. Lauer for doing that.
Perfect, great.
Can I ask, I had something to that same point, because I agree, and I think it is difficult because you have to have enrollment to support it, but, I do see that at Springview, engagement in CTE is high, considering that they only have the one class compared to the three. They have, about half of the students at Granite Oaks participating, and I do know, like at least for certain neighborhoods, Springview, there are students, I know many go to Whitney, but some also go to Rocklin, and so if a Springview student takes the one family consumer science pathway, there isn't a continuation pathway. The industry isn't there at Rocklin, so they would not be able to finish it by 10th grade then,
Correct.
right? Mhm.
Yeah, but we do make that available. If that student is truly interested in that, we can do an intra-district transfer out to Whitney High School. Their culinary program is thriving. They do a great job. And I will give a shout out to Miss Brady. If you're ever at Springview, go into that classroom. She has the large screen TVs up. I mean, it's like a Food Network show.
It is.
in there.
Adara's
Yeah.
in that class. She got in, and students, it's like the most in-demand class,
Yes.
I think, at the whole school.
Yes. And once again, what we think of it as the old economics, the boys are very interested to take that. They learn some life skills such as sewing, such as washing your own clothes, and so just a shout out. They do a great
And
job preparing
cooking,
those
right?
kids.
That's
Well, thank you. I know that there's been incredible work done, and I appreciate the response to some of those questions. I just wanted to point out one more thing. For our juniors and seniors that may say, "Oh man, I missed the boat. I'm not able to really complete a 3-year pathway right now. What options are available to me?" Are those introductory classes then available for them to attend as juniors and seniors, or do we have any CTE options for them?
Because we have so many electives, we require 50 units of elective. So many of them will try to get in a class, and they might take it as a freshman and then say, I'm not interested. If they are interested, to get back in there to be a completer. But again, I'm proud of the fact that our schools do not force kids into classes they don't want to take. So it is a challenge for them if they want to try to complete those last 2 years. It's not really an option for us because there's a minimum amount of hours they have to complete in that pathway, and you just can't really do that in 2 years. So, yeah, there's, again, spend some time if you go on their website and they have some of the alumni and where kids have gone and really thrived in the industry. And they've done a great job. So
Yeah. Well, I will say I have been incredibly impressed about our pathways. I think they're phenomenal options for our students. I know we've talked in the past looking at some of the numbers of our students that are A through G ready that are also completing pathways, and I think that's phenomenal. I still find myself wanting to look at those students, though, that maybe aren't meeting those A through G requirements, haven't really had the advocacy to help them know in 7th or 8th grade to pursue this pathway. I think we looked before that we're looking at on average that's about 200 students a year. I know only 200, but that's still 200 students that I want to make sure that they're getting some opportunity there. So again, I know I am so appreciative. This is incredible work that is done, and I almost wonder if maybe with these pathways or with, because I'm looking at just some of these industry sectors, like these are incredible areas where I think our city and our county, we really lead in California in a lot of these areas. And I wonder if maybe a collaboration with our chamber or something to allow maybe internships for some of those students or, a placement position. I'm just, again, thinking for those students that maybe go, hey, I'm a junior, oh no, I'll tell my sibling, but I don't get to. Is there an option available to them?
yeah, well, one of the parts of a high-quality CTE program is that final step, getting that internship. And that is somewhat of a struggle. For example, Roseville with the 6 high schools, and they've been doing this, and they have people dedicated just to this work, and they go out and work their city. In the past, we've had good relationships with Oracle and HP, and we do get some, but in all honesty, a lot of our kids that get offered those go off to college. Yeah, we do have some that take advantage of it, but like Derek mentioned, Brett Hunter, I mean, they get offered an internship in the summer. They know they're going away to college, and it's like, you know, I have this, but I want to go complete a college career, so they don't necessarily take advantage of it. But that is the area, I mean, we're always looking for continuous improvement, and that's an area that we can definitely improve in by getting those out. And that's why I pull up the STARS example of our early education, because those kids do get an opportunity to get in there and get their hands on and see, is this truly a job I want to do for the next 30, 40 years? And some choose it, and it's a great education, but it's not for everyone. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of this too, right? They're getting to experience things and say, you know, I think it's quite crazy that we would expect a 12-year-old or even an 18-year-old to determine what they want to do for the rest of their life, right? And so I so appreciate, you know, if you look at school districts throughout the state, they're not anywhere near some of these stats. So I appreciate the incredible opportunities that you are providing for our students, and also the ability to say, okay, let's hone in now this next year on this area and see what we can provide more for these students. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was saying again with Brett Hunter, I think he does an amazing job with the industry partners. If you guys have a chance and you see the shop at the Bitter Shop at Whitney is it's like a NASCAR garage. Like he's got banners from the different contracts he works. I mean, he does an amazing job. So, you know, and then the STAR students working with the schools. So we're doing good. We just more attention. Yeah.
Great. Thank you again for that update. Okay, we will now move on to item 10.1, public comment. See no public comment cards. Okay. Seeing no public comment cards, then I will move on to item 11.1, pending agenda items. Trustees, do you have any items to place on the pending agenda? No? Okay. Is there a comment card? I apologize. Did somebody have a comment card out here? No? Okay, see. Oh, I'll just clarify if there's anybody in the room, just to clarify. For public comment, if you're interested in giving a public comment this evening, we ask that you complete a green card. That there's some on the back table right now. I'm more than willing to wait a few minutes. If you'd like to just fill out the green card really quickly, then you can turn it in, and then I'd be happy to call you. However, if you're just here just to listen in, that's also okay. See no public comment. Okay, everyone in the room is shaking their head no at me. We just want to make sure we provide you the opportunity if you are here to make a comment. So seeing no public comment, then I will move on to pending agenda items, 11.1. I heard no pending agenda items. So I will move to item 12. The meeting is now officially adjourned.